Once you return to the Lanayru Desert, you'll find yourself at the north end of the desert, and there's a few things of significant difference in this end of the desert. Number one, there's a heck of a lot more sink sand, so you can't just freely run across the ground. There's also these large bird-like enemies known as Harok, and they'll basically perch on top of these like dead trees, and when you come close to them, they'll actually fly on over to you, and they create like a boulder out of their mouth, and they'll drop it on top of you. I mentioned the sink sand on the ground, but once we met that ancient robot in the Temple of Time region, he updated your Lanayru Desert map, and you can see the little pathways that are created in the map. And these are basically like ancient pathways. These were like ancient platforms of sorts that you were able to run on. And even though there is sink sand floating over them, there is actually a platforms underneath them. Thus, you can actually stand and walk across the sink sand if you are on these specific routes. It's a good idea to use the beacons so that you know, I usually put the beacons at the intersection points or the end points of the platforms, so that when I connect, I have like an imaginary straight line between the two beacons, and I know that the pathway is straight ahead like that. Anyway, if you head on over all the way against the far wall, you will find there are some Gerudo dragonflies here, so you can capture them using your bug net. So that's a good idea to do so if you'd like. But our next destination is over at the X that is on our map. So you can make your way across, and as I mentioned earlier, you can use your beacons. But once you get over to the platform over here, there's like an incline that you can run on up, and you can make it to the X on the map. You could use the beetle to latch onto one of the bombs nearby and take it over and defeat one of the Haroks. Alternatively, you could hit the Haroks with a slingshot after you defeat them, or as they're flying towards you, and then they'll get knocked down a little bit, almost to the point where you might even be able to deliver sword slashes. Good thing about them is they always drop red rupees, but they are kind of difficult to defeat. Once you get over to the X, you want to place a bomb next to the two nearby boulders and blow it up to reveal a time shift stone. Right next to the X on the map, you will find a stool, and as I mentioned earlier, there are these stools and areas like benches that you can sit on in various parts of the underworld and in Skyloft, and doing so will restore your health. So hit the time shift stone, and the little where the X on the map is will regenerate very much. It comes to life, and this is basically a power generator of sorts. Before we can do anything with that, why don't you get rid of these technoblends? Having a little trouble with them, but this particular one dropped an ornamental skull, so I jumped down to go and pick it up. And as I got in the first video, I believe in this chapter, I got the treasure medal. What the treasure medal does is it allows enemies to drop treasures more frequently. So ornamental skulls from technoblends and bokoblins, you'll get those. And the monster claws from the keys and the jelly blobs are probably the biggest beneficiary. But this area here at the very north end of the desert is a good place to get tumbleweeds. You can just continuously just run back and forth. I think you can always get 2 tumbleweeds each time you're in the region. Then you'll have to go indoors somewhere or return to the sky. But every time you come back to the region, you can get you can get 2 more tumbleweeds. And it's a good idea to get them. There's not too many items that need significant numbers of tumbleweeds just yet, but further down the road there are going to be important upgrades that are very good weapons that we are going to need tumbleweeds. Anyway, after speaking with the ancient robot, you will be able to use your dowsing mechanic to find some of the other power generators to activate the main power generator, which will allow us to gain access to the next dungeon. As I mentioned earlier, you can use the beacons on your map to I like to put them by the intersection points so that you know where you can run and what you can, in what areas you can stand along. In the first area over here, there are a number of these bomb statues of sorts, so you can use bombs to knock down 2 of them, and you will find the power generator is located in the middle one. However, since this area doesn't have a time shift stone activated, we can't use the power generator, at least not yet. However, if you toss a bomb next to the cracked wall just to the side, you will find, what do you know, a time shift stone. So hit it and it'll turn this area back to the past, and you can see that the area fills in and there's like a grassy area, and the power generator has been well, not activated yet, but it's now in an area where it is actually getting power because the area is in the past. So what you need to do is just pull out your sword, just Z-target the generator, and do like a little stab attack, and turn it to the left and insert it. This will activate the symbol on the main power generator, and it'll also make a mark on your map. There's 3 of these power generators in total, and each of them is going to allow us to gain access to the next dungeon. But there's 2 more left to go, and the next one, or you could do these out of order, but the second one that I like doing is found back at the north end of the desert, and it's found right near the actual power generator. So return to the power generator and then run on over to the north end, sort of where we just got those 2 tumbleweeds. You'll notice that your dowsing mechanic does actually work on the main power generator, but that's kind of useless if you think about it. But at the far north end of the desert, there is a crack in the wall that you can use a bomb to blow up. If you look at your map of the overworld, you will find that there is a building of sorts here. So it sort of gives you a hint to begin with that there is something in this distance. We're never actually able to use a time shift stone in the area near this particular crack. So I don't really know. Maybe if there actually was a time shift stone in this area, maybe like the whole wall or whole sandy area that surrounds this little cave will suddenly disappear and there'd be a huge building of sorts. But anyway, use a bomb, blow up the crack, and then enter this house of sorts. And be sure to fill up on the bombs from the nearby bomb flowers. Once you're ready, just go ahead and enter the building. And I keep running back and forth here with the idea being I'll get those tumbleweeds. But I think at the time I didn't realize that there's only a limited number of ones you can get each time you're in the particular area. Anyway, once you head inside, you will find that there is a bunch of sink sand in this room, and there are these 2 ampulus, and they'll roll over, but fortunately you are at a higher platform than them, and they can't really do anything to you. They'll try rolling towards you. If you do jump down to the platforms over here, though, they will be able to hit you. Really what you need to do is make your way to the center of the area and place a bomb right by this boulder right here. You can actually alternatively have just stayed by the entrance area and roll the bomb over to blow up that boulder. But once you've blown it up, go ahead and hit the time shift stone that has appeared right here. Doing so will completely transform this room. All of the sink sand will pretty much disappear, and there's a whole nother level now to this room. And furthermore, there are some technoblins, and the Ampulus have reverted back to their prior state of Ampulus eggs. These are like small electrical balls that they still have that electric aspect that the Ampulus have. They're not really as dangerous, so to speak, since they don't really attack you, but much like, say, yellow choo-choo, you don't want to attack it or hold it while it's basically being electrified. You could pick them up, but that's not really suggested because, you know, it'll just electrify you after a few moments. What you could do is use the hook beetle to grab it, and you want to bring it over to this little device type thing here, and once you bring it over, you want to step on the little orange little platform, and this will cause the little gate to open up. And then once the electricity has gone down from the Ampulus egg, you can slash at it and it'll power up this little device here, which controls the nearby gate. This will allow you to pass through and reach the second of the power generators. So go ahead and insert your sword and turn the power generator and activate it. You'll see the little lightning symbol of sorts, and you'll also see it appear on the main power generator back outside in the Lanayru Desert. There's actually a treasure chest in this room, and it's in one of the corners on one of the higher pillars. The thing is, you can't really reach it right now because it's on one of the higher pillars. What you can do is you can send out the beetle back to the previous room and hit the the time shift orb, and this will cause the area to revert to the present. And this area is now filled with sink sand, so you'll be able to reach the treasure chest. Fortunately, I just failed miserably right there, but if you stand along the back wall, there are some platforms which I believe you can climb onto, or you can just stand right next to the platform. I think you'll latch onto it once the sink sand sinks. Anyway, you can run on over and open the treasure chest, and you'll find yourself a rare treasure, likely being a blue bird feather. Or once you've gotten this treasure chest, if there is still sand in the room, you won't be able to make it through the hole. So what you'll need to do is use your beetle, send it through this very narrow corridor, and use the beetle to hit the time shift stone once again. Now with the pathway cleared, you'll be able to jump down, and that's pretty much all we need to do in this building. And there's still one more power generator we need to activate, but that's pretty much going to do it for this video. So in the next video, we are going to find the third power generator, and we'll almost be ready for the next dungeon. So I will see you guys next video.